Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Got the D-Man here, and I'm glad you could join me today. As always, today's topic, we're going to continue with no contact. I got this article off of the internet by Cosmopolitan. It's written by a man and a woman. Let's read it and see what they have to say about no contact. I'm curious to see myself. Okay, here we go. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're watching it on Instagram, leave a comment in the comment section if you'd like me to speak on something. Okay, here we go. When it comes to breaking up with an ex and making it stick, sometimes the best route to go is to employ the no contact rule. The no contact rule is where you don't call, text, or message an ex in any way after the breakup. It includes not talking to their friends or family about them or the breakup itself, says dating and breakup coach Lee Wilson. The no contact rule is so effective because it allows you to sit with your grief and wounds and not plug up any holes or feelings of brokenness with someone else. That's what most people do. As soon as they break up with someone, they go off to someone else. I think that's more of a girl thing than a guy thing. I see women do that because usually a woman, before she even breaks up with the man, she has someone else lined up already. I think they call it monkey branching. Okay, men will do it too, but more often women do it than men. I think it's kind of an evolutionary thing because women for hundreds of thousands of years needed a man to survive. It's where a man does not need a woman. If you feel like you need a woman, you need to reevaluate yourself because you don't. I don't need a woman. You don't need a woman. You desire a woman in your life, of course. Now, if you want to have children, you need a woman to have children, but that's it. Okay? And raise the kids and nurture them because women do that better than men do. Okay, here we go. Okay. As sex and grief coach Brashia Wade explains, in painful breakups, the grief can be so palpable, that we will do anything to soothe the pain in a given moment. I know that feeling. I think most of us have. Men and women have felt that. Okay. Even if that immediate action leads to greater long-term suffering, Wade says when you go no contact, this can help you properly acknowledge a loss and mourn it. And it's a great time for men and women too to look within themselves. Most people don't want to do that. They want to blame the other person for everything that happened. But I'm telling you, it took two of you to create that relationship. And until each of you looks within themselves and discovers what they need to change to have a better relationship in the future, whether it be with each other again or with different partners, they will continue to repeat the same thing over and over and over again. You have to change yourself before anything out there is going to change. How many times have you men broke up with someone and your buddies will say, well, she wasn't good. She was the wrong girl. Well, guess what? Until you look within yourself and work on yourself, you will continue to get the wrong girl over and over and over again. You will have the same problems with a different face on it and a different body, probably. Different person altogether. Okay. When you go no contact, this can help you properly acknowledge the loss and mourn it, and eventually create space for something new. Okay. All right. Something new, whether it be a new relationship with your old girlfriend, your ex, or a new relationship with a new girl. It's easy to trick yourself into thinking you might get back together if you keep texting your ex all the time and nothing really feels different from pre-breakup. But as Wade says, that kind of short-term soothing can be harmful in the long run. Denying to yourself that the relationship wasn't working isn't going to do you any favors, believe me. The reason you left, or the reason she left you, is because it wasn't working. So if you want to get back together with her and you don't change anything, then how is anything going to be any different when you get back together with her? It's not. Think about that. Denying to yourself that the relationship wasn't working isn't going to do you any favors. Believe me, however, if you start to live without their presence in your life, moving on can become much easier. Wade also says that the no contact rule can help you move towards experiencing and transforming your grief, transforming it into you becoming a better person and a stronger, wiser person, as opposed to distracting and soothing, which is what people do when they jump right back into another relationship. I understand. I felt the same way. You just don't want to feel the pain, so you want to get with someone else. But the best thing, and the thing I have always done, is I stayed by myself for a while until I grew and learned what I needed to learn from the relationship. Sometimes that was a month, sometimes it was a year, sometimes it was longer than a year. It takes what it takes. But if you don't change yourself, you will continue to repeat the same thing over and over again and go through the same pain you may be going through right now. Okay. Excuse me. Yes, it can be really, really hard to block your ex's phone number, Snapchat, Instagram, and Venmo, along with their mother, father, second cousins, and first grade teacher. But it's worth it. Doing so pretty much kills any chance of reconciliation from both you and your ex, who is maybe still waiting on his text to be delivered. I guess this is the woman talking. Taking the hard first step of going no contact can help you get over a breakup faster, excuse me, than if you let it fester and eventually spill into the tricky we're friends category. For you men, you'd never be friends with a woman, okay? Just doesn't work. You're not friends with her, okay? You think you are, but you're not. You're a man, she's a woman. Just doesn't work. Especially with an ex-girlfriend. Doing so can then lead to a let's be friends with benefits situation where you and your ex then fall back into the dysfunctions of the previous relationship. Stephanie D. McKenzie, a relationship coach, Stefan, explains, remember, you broke up for a reason. Yeah, remember that. You broke up for a reason. And once you've gone and deleted their number and blocked them, it can be even more tempting to email, or find some other way to pop back into their life when you start to miss them. But you must resist. Don't hit them up because you missed them. Dr. Sabrina Romanoff, that was a little easier name to pronounce, clinical psychologist at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York City, says, remember, the function of this time is to process your own thoughts, feelings, and needs without the impingement of someone else. Romanoff adds, sit with your grief and loneliness and learn to process it instead of running from it. And that's what most people do. Guys, they want to drink and do drugs. Girls, sometimes they want to drink and do drugs so they don't have to feel the emptiness and the loss. But that emptiness and loss is a message for you. It's telling you something. And only you can discover what that something is. And you need to look within yourself and not run away into another relationship where you're focusing on that person now. You never get better, or you never change like that. You remain doing the same thing over and over, and some people do it for the rest of their lives. There's no set time limit either. If it works for you to have a month-long no contact rule, do your thing. If you want to be like me and permanently cut them out of your life for good, go for it. Do it for as long as it takes. That said, it can be effing hard to master this rule. It takes a lot of willpower and personal restraint, particularly if you see your ex at your favorite dive bar. If you're considering giving it a shot, here's what this is from a woman's point of view. Well, here's what 7 women had to say about their experience with no contact rule and why it might be your best at moving on. This 100% helped me. I couldn't go back to someone just because it was comfortable or because things got hard. Had I not cut things off completely, I would have gone back to him, or at least kept talking to him. Next one, I do it every time. Delete their numbers and unfollow them. No temptation, suck out all the poison. Here's another one. It definitely hurt more, but allowed both of us to heal and grow without being tempted to fall back into things. That's a good statement there. I completely cut him out of my life because I knew I couldn't handle having only a fraction of him. Another one. I'm currently trying it out, but it's not sticking. It makes it harder for me to move on. I was the one who suggested going a few months without talking, so I deleted his number and muted all his social channels. But every once in a while, he texts me and it confuses me. It definitely makes it harder to get over him, and every time he reaches out and we talk for a little bit, I feel like I'm starting over with my feelings. That's a good point too. Sometimes you just have to wait long enough to where if you want to talk to them again, occasionally, you don't have to hate the person you went out with, and you don't have to cut them out of your life completely forever. You can cut them out long enough to where you heal. It's like if you have a broken leg. You have to put a cast on it, and for a while you can't walk on it, so you have to stay off of it. It's the same thing here. If you have emotions that have been hurt, and you're feeling kind of sad or down or grieving about the relationship stopping, you need to break away from it for a while, for whatever it takes, and then you could talk to them again. As a man, you could talk to her again if you want to, but as I said, it probably won't work to be friends with her, but you don't have to be unsociable or a jerk or act like she's dead. I mean, I suggest acting like she's dead for a while until you get over it, until you heal. Then you could speak to her again. Here's a good one here. This is a man or woman, Alex. I did it and it helped. By no longer letting him in, I suppose it is a woman, I was able to discover myself again. And that's what it's all about, you discovering yourself. Now, if you can't just seem to delete or block your ex long enough before the frosse starts calling them again, that's okay, you're not alone. Try changing their name in your phone so you're reminded exactly what you're doing anytime you pull up their contact. When you see your ex's name, it may still bring sadness to your life and quite literally make your heart flutter, says this psychologist. That's why I recommend changing the name in your phone temporarily to pathetic asshole or idiot. Well, hey, whatever works to stop you from calling or texting, right? This will look a lot like you're beginning to happiness. You don't want to think of your ex as a pathetic asshole or idiot. I guess if that's the only way you can not call them, go ahead and do it, but because that implies you have a resentment or anger towards them. And that anger or resentment doesn't hurt anybody but you. Better to think of them lovingly, if you want to think of them as being sick or as if they passed away. Now, whatever it takes, I agree, but try not to think of your ex resentfully because that only harms you. As my old mentor said, resentment eats up the container it stores in. But remember, no contact is for you to grow, for you to feel better. It's not necessarily to get your ex back, although sometimes it will get her back. But if you don't change, nothing changes. Same thing over and over again. And what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Thanks for joining me. Smash that like button, leave a comment in the comment section. Have a great day.